Bridezella, written and voiced by Claire Frank. I can't marry my girlfriend and it has broken her heart. But I can't do it. And it's not because I don't love her, and it's not because I don't want to spend the rest of my life with her. It is because I have met a bride from hell. And legitimately, when they were in the car, the bride and groom sailing away into the sunset for their lovely romantic honeymoon, I stood there thinking, what would be better for both of them? If they got divorced, which, let's face it, 50% of the marriage population these days gets divorced, or if they had a till death do us part sort of scenario. And either one seemed tragic to me, in my mind. And just to give it some context, we knew each other from school. We weren't that close. And then we were friends on Facebook. And I mean classic Facebook friends in the fact that we just liked each other's pictures but never actually spoke to one another. And one day, out of the blue, I get this invitation to her wedding. And it looks magical, like a fairy tale, like something you dream of as a young child. And I'm 35 at this point and I've never been to a wedding. So I accept the invitation. First mistake. Second mistake was accepting the invitation for the girls' dinner with the bride and some of her friends. Because when I turn up there, the bride goes, "Here are the other bridesmaids." The other bridesmaids. Oh. Wait. You want me to be a bridesmaid? She looks at me dead serious and goes, "Yeah, I thought it would be a really nice contrast to have a brunette among all the blondes, just to mix it up a bit, be a bit inclusive." And I have never heard of anyone choosing a bridesmaid because of the colour of their hair. And that should have been the first red flag. And all the women seem really nice. They seem really put together. I mean, half of them are getting married or are married or have a promise ring or something. And I can't relate to any of this because I'm just a broke, single lesbian living in a one-bed apartment, barely surviving as it is. And all these ladies have designer handbags and husbands and that. And then it gets crazier. I mean, she comes out with her list of demands she has, and it is way too long and outrageous. First, she talks about everything we cannot do. And it starts off sensible, like, can't get a tattoo, can't dye your hair pink, and then it goes absolutely insane, and it becomes, you can't get fat, you can't get pregnant, you can't break a bone, you can't do things that sometimes just happen in life. And then she springs on us the list of demands we have to do. Like, we have to get our nails, hair, makeup, everything you can possibly think of done with her people who are high-end expensive. And we have to all buy the bridesmaid dress, which is £800, by the way, which is literally my rent money. And I'm sitting there having a nervous breakdown inside because I found out that we have to pay for it. And I clear my throat and I raise my hand like I'm back at school, feeling as uncool now as I was back then. And I say, I don't really have a good cash flow at the moment and I'm kind of skint. And then I start apologising about my life situation and saying things like, "I'm sorry, I'm just working at a cafe and a single lesbian in a one-bed apartment and the apartment isn't even that good," and slobbering over all of my words. And I seem really sad. And the bride just responds with, oh, should I employ a female stripper at the bridesmaid bachelorette party to be inclusive or something? Is that something I should do? And I think, is this lady okay? This is not the takeaway from my comment I've just made. It's more about the money. But no thank you, I don't need a personal stripper. The dinner finishes and the bride pulls me aside and she tells me it will be okay because she has a solution. I mean, I can fix your problem. I will totally lend you the money, and then when you have the money, you can just pay me back for everything. A deal? No deal. I can, however, do my own hair and makeup and all of that. She looks me up and down and begrudgingly agrees to pay for my things. But it comes with a price, by the way. And she doesn't ask me, she just tells me, okay, but you've got to do something for me. You have to now be my head bridesmaid. My other head bridesmaid just dumped me, so you have to take her place now. Well, what now? I mean, I barely know this lady. She's crazy. I don't tell her that. I just think it in my head. And then after a long silence, she just, in a slurred voice, goes, please. And I realise she's not telling me, she's begging me. And suddenly I feel bad. Even though I shouldn't, but I do, and I say yes. Third mistake. As I soon realised why no one else wanted this gig as head bridesmaid. And there has been a long list of women that have dropped out. Because she is insane. And she's very good at isolating her family. And she's great at having temper tantrums. And all the supposed adults in her life just huddle around her, pampering her. Like they're trying to tame the beast that's inside of her, not realising that she's untamable and that she just let her go. And I have so many crazy stories. But the worst thing I've ever seen anyone do was her at the practice dinner. You know, where people say their speeches and that. And she, in front of everyone, publicly uninvites her sister-in-law. She uninvites her sister-in-law because she doesn't want her outshining her big day. And it's not because she's wearing white or her sister-in-law is wearing something inappropriate or her heels are too high. It's because of her face and her body. She's just younger and better looking, which, to be honest, is just life. There's always someone who's better than you. And the sister-in-law runs out crying, and I run after her trying to console her, saying that she should just come to the wedding anyway, and the bride will probably have forgotten at that point. And to this day, it is the meanest thing I've seen anyone confidently, unapologetically stand up in public and do, because she doesn't want her special day ruined. You know, she'll understand it's okay. When it is not okay, and nobody told her that. Not even me, I'm ashamed to say. Her wedding day rolls around, and her sister-in-law does crash it. But the bride doesn't notice, because there's over 200 people at the wedding. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't even know 200 people, let alone can invite them to my wedding. I mean, at this rate, it is practically a public event. And I'm so mad at this woman because I'm technically really mad at myself for staying this long. I don't know why I've done it. And I've spent more time planning for this wedding than I have at my actual job, at my actual paying job. And I hate her so much. And I'm so happy when she leaves to ride in the sunset with her husband and just goes away. And her sister-in-law gives me a big hug saying I was the only one who helped her when the bride did that to her. And she really appreciates everything I've done, and it's a beautiful wedding. And she doesn't understand why I stayed, and I tell her I probably wouldn't have if she didn't pay for all of my stuff, and I felt guilty about that. And I probably shouldn't feel guilty about that, and I really hate my new makeover. Like, I'm never going to wear this bridesmaid's dress again. Never. It's wrong in all the places it should be right. My boobs are squished, my butt can hardly breathe, and my hair looks horrendous. So I'm just smiling at the sister-in-law, nearly crying at this point, thinking, what have I done? What have I put myself through? Why am I here? And then she starts saying that she's about to get married soon. And I can't. I walk away, and I've never looked back since. And I can't do weddings anymore. I just can't. So I've broken my girlfriend's heart.